Hey, JC here for Retire Cheap JC. Our whole channel is dedicated to you expats, or rippers as I call you, retirees in paradise, wanting to come live in Thailand. And so we're always trying to give you as much information as we can to make your transition over here and your decision an easy one. So today I want to talk to you about a survey that came out saying that expats want to leave. So what's up with this survey? This survey came out, I think it was a Thaivisa survey. Half of expats have considered leaving Thailand in the last year. Wow, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? There was a lot of information in here I want to address because I always get, I don't know, I was a little bit frustrated at news. Bad news sells, right? And so when I read this, it was like actually a member passed it on to me, and I thought, oh, I read it over. I thought, well, this is real interesting. Then I started to think about it, and it says half of the expats have considered leaving Thailand in the last year. Well, I can tell you that I think half of the people in the United States have considered leaving in the last year as well. So it's interesting that they put it that way, because you could consider leaving for a lot of reasons. And why now as opposed to before? If that's true and more people are thinking about leaving, why is that? Could it be not because Thailand is getting worse, but other countries are getting better? There's now more opportunities for expats to live in other places besides Thailand, which is a good thing, because there's a lot of expats, and not only, you know, what we call Furong, Caucasians, but from all other countries as well, because Thailand has become so easy as a transition from almost every Western country and almost every Asian country for sure. So when I hear this, that they're thinking about leaving, could it be because they're thinking about, well, you know, maybe I did a series on Vietnam. Maybe Vietnam's a great place now, you know, we'll consider leaving in Vietnam. So when it says, you know, that they've considered leaving, that doesn't mean that they're packing their bags and wanting to go. Just that they're considering. If you ask me, would I consider moving to another country? Sure, I always consider, always looking for plan B, right? So that was interesting how they put that. And I don't think that's not a shocker to me. The other thing says a whopping 84% said they're unhappier now than when they first arrived. 84%. Yeah, people might read that and go, oh my God, unhappier now than when they got there. That makes total sense to me. How many times have you been in a relationship and you're infatuated, and all of a sudden, you know, after a period of time, reality sets in, and then it becomes the norm, and the infatuation wears off. So you're going to be probably real ecstatic and have high hopes and dreams and expectations and everything, and then reality is going to set in. You know, there's a saying that says, before enlightenment, you chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, what do? Chop wood and carry water. Life is going to be the same. It's not going to be any different. This is no panacea. This is no answer to all your problems. It's just better than back home. I wish they would have done the survey and said, you know, how many people still feel after a period of time, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, survey those people and say how many people still feel happier living in Thailand than they would in their home country. I think these numbers would be completely different, because things have changed not only here but in Western countries as well, and I mentioned that in a previous video that I did for YouTube. Also within this survey, it said under 60s, okay, under 60s, expats who are working appear to be the least happy, with many citing the cost of living as a reason for their troubles. So under 60, and they're working in Thailand, and they're unhappy. Gee, that's a shocker. The wage is so high here. They pay Thai people so much, I'm sure they pay the foreigners a lot of money to work here, of course. And where are the workers going to be working? Probably Bangkok, Pattaya, you know, someplace where it's a city, and it's expensive in those cities. So to see that, you know, they're the least happy, the ones that are working here, and having to live off Thai wages. That's not a shocker to me, for sure. So anyway, it says the biggest figure to take away from this whole survey is that almost 1 in 2 expats have considered leaving Thailand in the last 12 months. So that was the big deal. And I just wanted to address that because for me, I mean, there's always reasons to leave any place. There's reasons to leave jobs, relationships, or where you live. I just see more reasons to leave any of those back in the home country than I would here. So am I less happy than I was a year or 2 years ago here? In some respects, I'd be honest with you and say yes. In other respects, I'm happier now than I was 2 or 3 years ago. The people are still great here. Now, having said all that, if you surveyed people that lived in one of my, what I call no-fly zones, and no-fly zones are Bangkok, Pattaya, Phuket, Samui, there's a lot of places in Thailand where it's not I'm saying don't go visit. I'm saying it's not great for a retiree, an older person on a fixed, limited budget with limited mobility and stuff like that, because you're going to be a target in a lot of ways. And so you don't want to always be looking over your back or thinking that you could be getting ripped off or something. So those places I consider no-fly zones. And if you survey people out of those areas or living in those areas, I think that these numbers would be completely different. So there you go. I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's insightful. You know, any other place besides those no-fly zones, people are still really friendly. Cost of living is really inexpensive. You know, a lot of things here are based on the ability to pay. That's why a lot of things are cheap. You know, so many YouTubers are talking to you how cheap it is. But that's only if you go where there's Thai people, or you're renting where there's a sign in Thai. If you're going to Farong restaurants, or renting from Farong landlords, or where they're marketing to foreigners, it's not going to be cheaper. It might even be more expensive than back home, because foreigners have the ability to pay more, and that's just a given. And that's why they try and take advantage in national parks and stuff here as well. So keep all that in mind. I hope this was helpful. You know, a lot of stuff comes through the news, and, you know, I tell my members in my weekly update, you know, take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt that you see in the news. A lot of it's knee-jerk reactions or stuff that'll just pass, you know, and never be heard of again. Or stuff like this where, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what the purpose of this was. The way they worded it, you're going to get some skewed results. But anyway, that's my opinion, my take on it. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's a different perspective than what you're reading in the news. And remember, when it comes to interpreting the stuff in the news, the stuff you hear, see, there's always an option. See you. JC out. Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.